Gonna try this one for size. We're gonna draw it as a triangle. Just probably upside down though.
Mm-hmm.
And then the O for objective, yes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the thinkers,
Yeah.
the quantums, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whether there's going to be a lot of them or less of them, who knows? And it's going to narrow down, narrow down, narrow down. So you want to need more thinkers. So what are these thinkers going to need to be? Like thinking up, you could say step by step,
Yeah.
what's needed.
Mm-hmm.
So what could be needed if we put space as the, oops, that's the main objective, yes?
Yeah.
So what's going to be needed? Well, you're going to need a MC, yes?
Yeah.
Mission control.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also going to need platforms.
Yeah.
So we can use this as current structures are already here already, couldn't we? We can
Yeah.
just mix it in with that and just see where we go. So we could look at Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We could also look at, let's say, if there was another branch of Google, because again, that could also work too, couldn't it? A space, a page. Bit like Facebook, but not the same, I would say. But, you know, so what could we say? GS?
Mm-hmm.
Google Spaces, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, what is its objective? If we understand the concept of Facebook, it's a place to go and connect and share with friends, right?
Yeah.
But it could also be transformed into a database. If EU are building something along these lines again, if Britain are building some things along these lines again, whatever, put whatever you need to be there. But this stuff is already global anyway. So, as opposed to connecting with friends, it's a place where you put your ideas that connect to a type of group, let's say. So,
Yeah.
if it is making a computer idea, let's say,
Yeah.
which I suppose a computer more like a remote control, one that's long distance as opposed to the old-fashioned way where we're from here to here razzing a car around. Not that. More like a remote control bot. Then there's going to be satellites as well, yes? So again, you're going to need a lot of things for this. So let's say if you jot your ideas down, envision it, and maybe you're not very good at pictures, but someone else who's a bit more arty might be able to visualize this and build this in step by step. You can even get computer programs to run this way, AI software. So again, you can have AI where you tell AI the initial idea and what this should be able to build it up. So we look at Coral, yes?
Yeah.
And that's computer code that allows you to collect objects and put them into place, maneuver the objects and do this, that, and it. Time consuming to say the least, and that progress is at a snail's pace. Although, if you had to make the coding to do that, that would take you even longer. That's more like a freaking ant's pace. So I don't know, actually, no. That would be a snail's pace, and then the next one where you're moving all these objects is ant's pace. But we want something that's more real time.
Yeah.
In the now moment, where you're speaking this into, or you write it and the text goes into, and the AI acts like the human grabbing all of these objects and putting them together. With all of its leisure, all of its information in its database, it can then start taking what is known, what is already successful. So we'll understand that if we're talking about a remote control car, it already understands the concept of that. Knows how to build that step by step. But now we want to remove the remote control element and we want to make this satellite controlled, let's say, bot. Now it's going to change the concept a little bit, the shell and everything else. It's still going to need a controller. Okay, then it's going to need to be able to... So how do we do this using the internet? Already, yes? We're already doing this using the internet. So there again, it will change the concept into internet. Now, what is this remote control going to do? It's got to have the capability to scout, which we'd understand then, we could call that a rover. NASA's archived stuff and anything else that they've put up of how to build this. NASA did it painstakingly bit by bit, but it's already there. Can you get a machine to already know the ins and outs of this? Okay, we're looking at it as like a type of rover. So we can take that database and now apply it to the fundamental structure, which then gives the builders something to build. So the thinkers talk using AI. This then builds step-by-step process of how to build that, but it holds on to the concept that once built, the AI should automatically be able to know where that is going to be heading. Where's it going to be heading? Well, can it go to Antarctica? The answer is yes. What capabilities does it need in order to allow that to happen? Is it going to need some satellites? Okay. Again, that's common sense. Common sense AI is really good. It's going to need a satellite. What type of satellite? Who engineers satellites? Then again, this can automatically know this to then send the specific job detail. We're going to want a frequency where we can have multiple remote controls on this. Then the satellite is okay, what are we going to be doing with this satellite? It needs to be able to bounce the signal around all over the place. It needs unlimited fuel. So the state of the art would be what would be there now, yes? Or can there be a concept to make one with a very small nuclear engine in it, and can it last indefinitely? That's another question entirely. Whether that is feasible or not, it's going to last a lot longer than a generation. And that's probably where you want to build it to last rather than build it to break. So again, with this concept, already you've got the object being built that's going to be operated. The concept's there. You can get an app, so you could incorporate this into an app. An app that's got to work with, that is going to work with a satellite and also the user interface. Again, these interfaces are standard, custom. Sony, PlayStation, Mega Drive and Master System and Amstrads, all of them. TV controls. You understand a lot of database for controlling things. This is already known to be able to build an app that works with this, that can also connect to a satellite, whether it needs to go through the internet to reach a place where it can reach the satellite, which could be a very interesting thing. Then from the satellite, depending on where this object is, it's got to be able to send that data, and it's also going to need a receiver that's going to be built to the object, whether that is a rover or anything else. Once that app is built, again, either this is built automatically or some people need to sit down and build this stuff. Either or, it's still going to create jobs. And we want it to be harmonious, But from thinking, deadline, how long is it going to take to build all of this stuff? Then how worthy is this stuff to be atominized in itself? A machine that's capable of building satellites with the press of a button, and essentially you're printing out satellites. Can we revamp this satellite? And then this goes into a database like Facebook or Google or anything else like that, where someone else can look at that concept and go, well, we could make satellites with the cameras built into them. And in real time, somebody else's idea builds onto that to make a, I don't know, let's say on a profile, their name is, they sign into it. It's part professional in this way, and it's part leisure. So, you could spin your Facebook page around, your Google page around, whatever it may be. Do we need a database that's like this? Probably. Swing it around, get on with a bit of leisure, swing it back and get on with the work. Writing up something. Doesn't matter. Even if you are doing this as a hobby, it really doesn't matter. Somebody else takes that and then says, how could we reutilize these satellites? Well, we could put instruments on them for detecting certain things. What's known? and also what's been thought up in that. And we could also do it like this. Yeah. Brainstorming gets going. This gets incorporated into the satellite with the build, and also the bot. Could we utilize this part of these bots? Yes, that's the first range. Next one gets easier. You don't need to build the satellite if you're going on to version 2. You've got one that's going to be scouting out and searching around the place. Just having a little visual look. Under the ocean, wherever it may be. And then if you've already got the satellite and you've got the app and you've got the interface, can we upgrade it? How can we upgrade it? Well, the next one can be like a robot. Mimics human behavior in all the ways. Well, perhaps not the negative stuff, but keep it in the positive range. But it can pick up bolts and it can build structures. 2 bots parallel to each other, pick up a metal framework, and off it goes to build something, utilizing all of the stuff that it needs to be able to build a, we could say, greenhouse, we could say farm, we could say anything you want. But it works bit by bit and does this on the Earth. How successful is it? Very successful. You've already got the satellites that are orbiting. You've already got the app that can be utilized for this. And then you've got the scouters scouting in the meantime. You've got the bots operating and building stuff. And why is this good data? Well, good data is that someone can control that. And it goes to the page. So next page is once it's built, you might need some sort of remote control and visual feed, especially if it's on the Earth, you'll need a visual feed, and then you can maneuver this and build it. And then when you're done with it, if you're done for an hour or whatever else it is, it can be passed on to somebody else, or it waits to see where you've picked up. You don't actually need to be there physically. You need a bot to be there physically, and you just need to be to your page physically. Shit me, you could do this on a train journey. Do you understand? You should see how you can build a whole society using this. So here, what is it? British Rain in America, I noticed on the globe. Certain places like Easter Island and stuff like that just become testing grounds. What are they doing anyway? Can you build a city there out of bots? That's the question. Can you build farming? Can you build, build it better? Once it's done there, you've got some data, some real-time data. Where can I put these bots now? Well, I can stick them on the moon. Oh, shin A, mate. Fucking shin A. Now you're building on the moon something. Or you can put them on Mars. Now you're building there. Then you've got your scouters scouting out. Then you've got your satellites on print. What are the satellites doing? And then this whole pyramid structure now begins to build even faster, even quicker. And then there's more data coming in. So the stuff that was thought up, that became known, then became possible, and it ticked. Now these things are scouting out everywhere. So can we build things in Arctic countries? Yes, we can. Are these useful for purposes in any way? Possibly. Maybe not yet, but again, it's the principle of doing that. Can we grow food there? It's possible. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Now you've got this being built on the moon and on Mars again. Maybe it's not human habitation worthy, but it is for building things for farming. Perhaps. Mining. Perhaps. Getting it ready. Space ready. Again, this is pretty good because the more resources you get coming back, that's interesting. And the stuff that you don't know, that's data coming in for, again, the next thinkers to look at, which you could say scientists and anything else like that, could be looking at it and thinking, what could we do with this? Can we bring some of this back to the Earth so we can have a look at it? Can we experiment with that? And again, this gets you your panel, and then they update what they find. No fucking jargon. No jargon. No jargon whatsoever. It's got to be, it does this, this, and this. Somebody else then adds to that we also made this, this, and this from this. We also found that this, this, and this. X, Y, and Z. Simplicity. No jargon. We don't need the jargon. You're not going to make more of a name or a less of a name for yourself. You are just being matter of fact. And it makes quick reading so that anyone that glosses over that, yes, this, okay, yeah, that we can all get it. We all got it. As opposed to all of this jargon, and I've got to know what the universe was wearing, how hot the star was, the star got a cold and it started spitting things out. Sometimes it's I don't need to know all of that semantic. I just need to know what you can do with this. Got to keep it simple. Another page is jargon-based. This one has got to be so easy that somebody can see it, kids could see it, read it, understand it, and know it. Then, could you get this into schooling?
Yeah.
So we're looking at this type of Facebook system that we then get holograms in schools using the satellites, which are already sending information back and forth, telling the robots how to operate, also sending back what the robots have found, back and forth, a lot more panel of thinkers. This is much better than a universal basic credit. That too, why not? Have at it. If it can support your life in the meantime whilst you're doing a public service, actually a service to humanity is what you're doing. Not for yourself, maybe, but you are paving the way for future generations like the past generations paved the way for you. The more of that ripple you push out, the more that comes back. You find some stuff that looks a little bit, let's say, lithium, and then you find a way to make a magnetic, or let's say a laser using magnifying glasses, and you scorch the earth, evaporate the ocean so it puffs up into an atmosphere, and then you start making lithium in this process. Again, is that good? Yes, that's fucking handy to know. Jot that down, XYZ, this is how we make this. In real time, when we're learning with kids as well, what type of world are they going to be growing into? If the education system is supporting factory work, this work, that work, you can still do it. You can still go and make yourself a small business if you want to, supporting humanity in that way. Very good. But you can also do this. Yes, that is going to support humanity as well, but this is going to support it long term. And that's where it should be. And then we need to make a really good educational system with this because it can be fun. And not just kids, but adults as well. I think it's really important to have a hologram of the universe popping up.
Yeah.
But with each satellite, each click brings you into the last data for the last 24 hours. And you get to be able to zoom in on the particular moon, you get to zoom in on the planet, and then the kids get thinking up ideas. Why? Well, if all of that infrastructure is there, satellites and everything else, all of these satellites begin dotting around. You've got signals jumping from satellite to satellite, so we haven't got to wait for it to swing round, especially if it's on the back end of Jupiter and we're looking at the moon, the moons of Jupiter. You know, we haven't got to wait for that data. That is going to be a constant feed because it's going to bounce to the satellites that are around and bring the signal home. And bring it to home through all the databases. A teacher clicks in, then a kid wants to talk about something, pass over the remote that then clicks in for the hologram and brings it up, and they get to do their little documentations on it. This can be really fun. Some of the resources that came back have those in hologram. Again, click it, of what you would do to it, say it. The AI learns this at the same time and sort of visualize and builds it in front of you. No longer imagination, yes, but imagination that can be seen by everybody else in the room. Because the AI understands your imagination. Does it look like this? Yeah. Yes, it does look like what I see that in my head. You know, each kid gets to talk. When you hold the remote, it allows the microphone to then help with building this imagination. And then if other kids want to come into it, each one has to press a button, speak into the microphone while you're up. And then that needs building as well. Again, that's a hell of a thing to roll out. But it can be done. It can be done overnight. You know, it literally can. Most people think, no. You've got to start with your baseline. Once that is out there and on there, that's when all of this becomes so much more easier to do. If they're in their little interactive space for kids, their schoolwork being in this type of stuff, building it with the hologram and all the stuff is being recorded and documented on their page, put into a little video and whatnot, and what they said. And then how that evolved into imagination construct, which then is put onto a page in their work portal. When they leave school, that work portal, if they want, can then go to their main platform and the work continues. Because you've give the kids the best go at enhancing their imagination. You've taught them the tools, and this can keep going. In between leisure, in between doing what they do. Should that be supported by a universal basic wage? I think so. And I think so. Why? Because then this can really get AI moving. It gets the platforms going. It gets the education moving forwards. It's never going to be the same. That's the one thing. Scientific education No jargon.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you imagine and you get it into your mind and you begin to say it, you begin to talk with the hologram and it begins to mold it and build it. Then this can put it into your portal. This is then linked with you, your name tag. Beautiful. Anyone looking back through history in real life time, you did that. Whether you turned out to be bad nor good, whether you broke the law or not, it's still going to be labeled there. It's not going to be altered because that's a part of it. You did that. No one's going to take that away from you. You know? Unless we have one bad person in a group of individuals and what, we're going to deny them all of that stuff. I think it's just a bit stupid. And then what, we're going to shut down that whole system because of it? No, it's ridiculous. That's a silly way to be. That's an old way. We got to look at that as prehistoric and perhaps want to move away from it. That person got down on their luck and they're going to go through and be rehabilitated from whatever it was. These things are going to happen. It's to be realistic about that. But it's about giving everybody a chance that once they're square with the block, they're square with the block. And they should be square with humanity once they've done that. That's it. End of. Moving forwards. So we don't have any of this discrimination against people who, because we're going to make mistakes, all of us. And depending on what time in life that we make those mistakes, we should become square with the house again. And we shouldn't have that held against us. And we most certainly shouldn't have our good moments taken away just because of one thing, two things, three things. You know, end up pissing on the toilet seat until someone told you to put it up. I mean, you're going to lose your whole profile because of that. It's just silly. Then we have a accurate building of history books. Talent raw, which is inspiring anyone looking forwards from a young age before they were growing in the world. Look at that. Inspiring. Look, they did it. I can do it too. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how many times you fall down. That seems to be a natural part in life. It's great if you can get to a point where you don't fall down, but it's not as perfect as that. It's not always as black and white as everyone likes to believe. Mm-hmm. And I think that we should not just talk about it, but we should align to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is one way to align to that. Mm-hmm. Then if you've got your builders, mm-hmm. the ones that love to get hands-on, have no way do they like this whole quantum side of it. They respect the quantum side of it. It doesn't mean that one's better than the other group. Mm-hmm. No, it means that both of these groups are going to be working together. Mm-hmm. Now, should there be a uniform for each group with a little tag on it? Upside down triangle, right way up triangle. Shit me, if you're part of Freemasonry, it might be a couple of shaking hands. Whatever it may be, part of your uniform. If you're Illuminati, it's a triangle. If you're part of this and this group, it should be that. Whatever it may be, and then incorporated into that logo, it's got to make you feel good. Important, a place to belong. It's not about the uniform, but the uniform does help. You are putting on that persona as you put that on. You've got to feel good, and if it helps you get your head in the game, then that's what it's going to take. You know. And then each place, people will see that uniform and think, yeah, you're one of them. I want to be one of those. Have at it. It's more than enough room. We'll measure you up. Application form not needed. You're going to try it. If it fits, welcome aboard, Cinderella. Yes, and that's no prejudice. It's not about what your background is. It's about what you can do. Application form? No, it's too. It opens Pandora's box that you can be prejudiced about it, regardless of your background. It's not about that. It's about what your capability is. And we all could miss talent because we're too busy judging. We're judging you on your background. We're judging you on what you are, what you look like, what you wear, what your sexuality is, what your religion is. Have at it. You got a certain religion that you like? Embroider it. Get it embroidered. Main logo is the part that you're in. The other part of it, if it makes you feel good and you look at yourself and you see the logo, it makes you remember your place. Religion, welcome, whatever you may be. Get your symbols on you. You know? And again, it's wonderful because it's nice to then know that, you know, if you've got your little profile picture up and you've got your little symbols jingling on there, I think this helps to build a better profile on an individual. What is it that made you like this? Is it this? Is it a bit of that? Well, a little mix of all of that, and bloody hell. Look at how far you moved humanity forwards. Well done, you. And again, learn to be able to communicate these symbols that you've got. It brings out conversation, and conversation is really good for development, and it allows you to drop your guard down. It's not about, we can all see these different symbols of whatever it is that we follow, along with our department that we work in. We understand that those symbols, and then you've got your overall work symbol. You know, that we can respect one another. Despite all of those differences, we can all come together and unite on those differences. And we can leave those differences at the door.
Yeah.
And then we can learn to respect each other because, yes, you may have this background and that one, and celebrate it. Without you, this would not have been. And the handshake is reciprocal, isn't it? Both of you, and then you, and then let's all put our hands on top of each other, you know, because we all came together to make it happen. With all our different backgrounds and different things that make us more at ease. You know, that's your preference over there. And I feel that it is important. I think it is important to the overall soup because it's going to go with you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a crust that you like, whether it's the Jewish star, whether it's fucking all of them. And then you've got your overall work, and then you've got your department symbol. Anyone outside of this system, it's very difficult to make it happen. But everybody inside this system, yes, okay, people outside the system too, they're supporting you. Their place is also very good, very welcomed. I think eventually it would move to everybody moves into this system. And the other stuff, we just stop sweating the mundane shit. It just begins to support us so that we can really get on with the bigger stuff. And I think that's how you move humanity towards an order. Doesn't mean that it's going to be like a one religion or one this. No, it's going to be a one concept, a one objective with multiple objectives coming off of it. It's got to start with a baseline and then it has to build out from that. A bit like the star, I guess. It's got to have a starting point, and if this is it, then so be it. It's it. You know, Google and Facebook are not going to argue each other who's got the best system. Mirror it. Why? Because we want to capture that as much as possible, right? And then that means that Facebook, Google are coming with you. Mm-hmm. Any other company. So if you've got Elon Musk, you've got Richard Branson, let's say for argument's sake, oh my days, some cosmonaut in Russia, the Russian Space Agency. If we all learn to come together and build a pot that's together, then there's more for us to take out. Mm-hmm. So if we all come together with our singularities, one did the water, one did waste, one did this, mm-hmm. and they all bring that oneness of those different inventions into the same pot, we all can put those together and we all get something whole from our singularity. So if we all combine our efforts into the pot, and got to shake hands with one another if we don't need to, but again, we've got to understand that that coming together is more impactful, more important than falling apart. It's harder to come together and build something as one. It's much more easier to take the whole object and destroy it and fracture it. That's what we seem to be in at the moment. But we could move forwards to become a group of singularities to bring each talent, regardless of religious beliefs, whether you believe at all, whether you don't believe, whether it's something new, whether it's something old. But the more we put into the central column, the more we get out as a whole. A whole structure that seems small in its, you know, if we all bring something into the pot and build this replica Earth, that we can all take one whole unit each. We've all got a baseline. Mm-hmm. A structure that then we can expand again. And there again, if we were to bring all of what we've expanded into, and we bring it into the central pot again, and connect this together to make it really work, We then all take another structure out of that can be even more better than what we could build on our own. And then slowly but surely, we all belong in this place.
Yeah.
Why? Well, because it took Russian might over there. It took American might over there. It took the British might, Australian, Canadian, EU. I think I cover most of the nations. China. To label all of the nations on the planet is, I'd be here a while. So follow that on and dip until we've run out of civilizations to add into the equation, and we then become all a part of that. We built that. Goes from a united nation in a way, from United States, United Nation, to a united world. Separate differences, united on those differences. Not enough to attack one another, but enough to respect one another, to know that when we come together with our pieces of the puzzle, we get to build a really fucking fantastic picture. And then, how quick can this excel?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we saw how rapid it is with businesses. Look how quick that is to excel. How quick do you reckon it will take to excel that? And then you've got 2 platforms to walk on. 3, 4, 5, 10, 50, 100.
Mm-hmm.
How much have you got for life to expand in that? You know, the possibilities are endless. Ireland are the size of America in population. And then China, and everyone's up to those numbers. Everybody. Then that's even more thought coming into the process, even more building, even more this. And if it's time to take it easy, then you can take it easy. Everyone can live like kings in that aspect, can't they? And queens.
Yeah.
To their own domain. Whether together or you scout off individually to go and get some stuff and then bring it back to the center pot. This is then looked at. Cool, we could do a lot with this. Then we can send an even bigger amount to go and collect even more of that, to then make use of it. It no longer becomes rare. It becomes rare when someone first brings it back. But then if everyone sees it, look, there's loads of it over there. There's tons of it. Okay, we then go and get it, and then we bring it to the center pot, and then that's distributed equally. No one is left behind, regardless of where you come from, who you are, sexual preferences, race, religion, because it all came together in order to make this happen. Now we can cherish each other on that quite a bit. And then this new order that's being built in this, it's got to start somewhere. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
So you need like this centralized, I don't know, headquarters. And it's already in schooling. And then this becomes very successful for a time being. Maybe it will serve its purpose. And then it could need adjusting again. And again, and again, and again, until you keep finding the order that balances the disorganized. Because that's one guarantee, isn't it? That order will serve a purpose on the earth. Okay, things start getting rare, we start running out of things. That's one lot of order. You know, to cause a colossal event to make oil on the earth is savage.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make oil on the moon? Make it. I'm pretty sure the star doesn't spit out oil. But can we not make it? By looking at what happened on the earth those years ago that caused that, and can we replicate it? Rather than spending time and diminishing resources fighting over it, we need to be figuring out a way, while we've got the resources, of can we replicate this stuff that we seem to keep fighting over? That's not a fucking bad idea. I suppose we could. Should we do it on the earth? No, I was more thinking of elsewhere. Just in case it goes fuck up. How long do you reckon that will take? Don't know. Let's ask Edison. How many times did it take you to make a light bulb? You're not going to get it first time, but bit by bit, we can start making it. What about lithium? Do you reckon we could make that? I think we could. If it's already being made in the universe, then you can do it. Anyone can. It's figuring out how to do that. And again, if you've got an order such as this, it becomes very easy because you then are aware of your capability. What did not work? This, and this. Until we keep going, until something does work, we need to keep that history of all of these times that it didn't work. And we don't need to upscale it. We can start this on the small scale. And if we're doing this on the small scale, might as well. Again, it sounds very morbid, but again, we can look at it. If this is all petroleum has come from plant matter and different things like that, from the decay and everything else, but we got to do something about the dead.
Yeah.
We're all going that way, aren't we? Well, for a time being. It's temporal. Well, it all depends on how far forward you move humanity. To sit here and do it this way, you'll run out of time and you won't achieve the unlocking that you need, that you so desperately desire. And if you flatten it now, then the future aren't bringing you back. And that might be your second redemption at aligning to something. But you've got to walk it now. And that's a hard choice, isn't it? To give up those types of structures that you've relied upon to create a new structure that may one day resurrect you in this new order, and you have to learn again. But you're going to rely on it. Do you see how this universe is so beautifully... It can't be cheated. There's no magic island jump. And that's the most beautiful power I think I've ever seen in my life. You can play it, and then it diminishes down the future, and then extinction. Or you can move towards it to help selflessly the future generations find that point. Give them enough to start unlocking you backwards, which is resurrection. It's within you all. When I think about cloning, I put it into my arm. If I touch my arm, I can then think about cloning. I store it here. That's interesting, isn't it? So when I go to that mentally there, it unlocks always to my arms. It doesn't matter which one, more so this one, but still. And then you rely on the future to do that. In order to pick backwards. And it becomes your second chance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To bring you back in your knowing format. In reverse. You can wait for Judgment Day. And God's going to come down on a chariot or whatever else it may be. The higher power or the sparkling light. That's one egg in a basket, I suppose. But drop it and it breaks. There's no dinner. Or there's no life, depending on which way you look at that. But wouldn't you want to add just a fail-safe into that, just in case it's looking for something else? Well, what's your fail-safe? You put it into humanity that they are to hear this message, watch it, observe it, feel it, and it unlocks something in them that then triggers them to do something that is selfless, with no absolute guarantee, and you have to have faith in it, that you need to do something to prop them, which is moving towards this way. Go within and figure out whether that feels right to you or not. You've got an oar now. Oars usually are good. They help you travel. If you didn't create the oar, the alternate, we can either live here and times are getting hard. The lands are changing. Isn't there something over there? No, Timothy, there isn't. And then Michael comes walking back saying, there's fucking abundant food. Why the fuck are you all sitting here? You to these lands over here? And when we gotta get on a boat? And we gotta travel all the way over there, and then I'll drop you off, and then we'll pick you up and drop you off? Or now you've got an opportunity. What's the opportunity? You can stay here and perish under this diminishing landmass, or go over here? How do I know you're telling the truth? You just gotta have faith. How do I know you're coming back? Oh, I left my wife there. Have faith in that. Give yourself the ore, and then, how do I know that you need to come back with me and tell the rest that it is guaranteed, because some of them are a little bit hesitant. All right then. It is true. What, this person Michael was telling the truth? Yes, Timothy. There's an abundance of food over there. Look, I brought you some. Oh, I got a bit furry. Here's a shaver. Do you know what a shaver is? You can shave this food before you eat it. It's a bit furry. Oh my god, it makes me feel a little pissed. Yeah. Come on, in the boat. And everyone wants to come, right? That's that sort of guarantee. But it takes a life form to come over and, hey, what's going on here? Well, they could have kept it secret. But they didn't. They shared that knowledge and then, doosh. And then these people were so happy for you, weren't they? Oh my... Anyway, moving on. Moving swiftly on. So, yeah, that's the power within that.
Yeah.
You can put and rely on one egg in a basket and maybe make that grade. Or maybe you fucked it up. Maybe you didn't. But then you lift up the humanity selflessly. I mean, that's an awesome amount of... that's a hard choice, isn't it? To do that. On faith. Blind faith. That's what it is. Then you begin to do it. And it moves humanity forwards. We don't dwindle out of resources. And in fact, there comes more of an abundance. Making fuel. I mean, that's an interesting thing. Making oxygen by mixing up the gases. Earth already gave it to you. You look at Earth and think, that was made like this. Oh, okay. I wonder if I take some of this gas over here and a little bit of this one here. Squash this. Oh, wow. I didn't exactly make oxygen, but I've made this thing called carbon. And it's in hydrogen. Oh, I didn't make oxygen. But you put some plants in there. Selfless again, isn't it? Selfless to put something else in there to then transform those gases for you. Now you're making oxygen. But you have to be selfless in order to do it. No, that's wrong. That's carbon. No. But what about the plant? No, it's not oxygen. We're going to keep going until several different ways to make it, but one requires selfless act. Although it seems second nature, doesn't it? Literally second nature. To put nature in there to transfer that. Or some bacteria. Again, that would seem second nature. But actually, it's selfless. People are more selfless than selfish. You just don't realize it, and we label it something else. I was just planting. I was just doing the gardening. You're kind of taking care of that pretty well there, aren't you? Yeah, because I like it. Interesting. I've never seen duality before. You are like the most uncaring person in this aspect, and yet you are the most selfless person in this. Ha! Welcome to the club. Now, if you could just shift to the middle, just a little. Now you're talking. We often want to be one or the other, right? I don't want to be either. I want to be in the middle. Don't you want to be in the middle of that? Yes, I want it all, but I also want to give it all as well. Do you? Just want to stay in the middle of that? And yes, okay, all right, how are you in the middle of it? Well, something's going to have to be destroyed in order to create something. the moon around Jupiter will have to die as the moon. But it can be transformed into what? Possibilities are endless, aren't they?
Yeah.
But you're going to create something new in that destruction. But you are the conduit in the middle. Right, it's no good destroying it into nothing just to go and hit it with something and blow it into bits. Well, that was fun. And the next one? What are we going to do after that? Nothing, we're just going to leave it. But what about the planet? Fuck it. What about the other people? Fuck them. Or we could destroy it to create something for people. And then if everyone was doing that, fucking hell, what type of a world would it be? I get passionate, so I swear a little bit, but you know. Yep. Trigger alert. And it starts with something like this. And I think this is the way it maneuvers over. And what's more, it puts eggs in a basket. Cloning is going to happen. There are no ifs or buts about it. It is going to happen. Now, there are two things that can happen. You can use AI to catalog people's behavior, which you can. Why do you think you would do that? We're going to do delete it afterwards. I mean, that is ridiculous. Are you going to want to come back as something else, someone else? Probably not. So you might want to tweak the programming, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And then say these people that come back will have this. Is that something that you want? That you could be resurrected in future generations and they can make you slaves? You want that?
No.
Does anyone want that?
No.
Because I can assure you that no matter how powerful you are in this biome right now at this illusion, well, let's hope the future generation don't do what you're doing. Because you're past generations to them, and they start cloning backwards and know who you are and know what you were. What happens if they start limiting your power? Removing the bits that made you a good speaker. Remove the bits that made you talented so that they could learn from that and keep it. Careful. Careful. What is being done will be done. You've told reality what you like. And God, He will come and save me. I know He will. Yeah, let's see how this pans out. That restores the balance a little bit, doesn't it? At the end of the day, collecting the data to see how it evolves one way versus the other. Revenge, you say? You need to get revenge. Don't get revenge. I don't need to. The future will do it. That's out of all of your hands here. And there's nothing you can do about it. If they decide to do that, what is going to make that behavior trigger? Because they're going to see it. They're going to evolve into it. Let me give you an example, okay? And I'm going to use the king's understanding to understand this. What if Henry VIII figured that, rather than going forwards, could then limit the king now?
Yeah.
Think about that. And then the family changes, however it may do, and you breed in with some other people, and again, that information is going to come in and it's going to change this information. That's what breeding is, essentially. Yeah. Information from there and from there comes together, next child, next heir, next this. Their mindset is going to change in principality due to the information that came from here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that family lineage is what? Experiencing suppression, this, that, and the other. Maybe not. Okay. I'm sure there has been great kings and there's been shit kings. And that's just part and parcel across the whole world, yes?
Yeah.
Back in a kingdom understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come back. Let's say they are able to make cloning, but they might fear you.
Mm-hmm.
But they still want to have their family here. Will they omit things even from you? Because pride, right? It's a vicious cycle.
Mm-hmm.
If if they resurrect you in your format now, there's a chance that you could steal the throne from them. And that me mindset and that feeling that you've got from other people can often be your own lineage shouting through the generations. Which way's forwards, which way's backwards? It just appears this way, so we label it as forwards and then we believe it. That life started from here and went this way. Could be in reverse. Perhaps the true motion is back the other way, the ripple. But if then they start finding a way to make clones, clone themselves, and then have an ability to focused cloning, miss parts of the mind out, basically make the lobotomy without ever needing to do it to you physically. They do it to you before they rise you, omitting certain things out of the brain, dialing you back a bit. What safeguards do you have to prevent that? None. Your actions. Your actions now count. See, if you could make clones, would you make them and see how they go in a trial experiment in a lab? That may be my great-great-grandfather in there, but fuck that. He'd steal my light in a second. No, fucking remove, no. Kill that experiment. But we're not actually killing it. I know, get rid of this, we'll start again. Now, is there any way that we can remove that bit of them that makes them, that makes that happen? Look at the way you lot are all gawping around him. I mean, what? It's supposed to be me. Alright, maybe we just won't bring that one back. We'll miss that generation then. That's a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's weird, right? And why? Because cell memory. We're teaching this. This is being taught through us. Accidentally aware of it or blinded of it. You're blinded of it at the moment until you become aware. Now you're aware. Resurrection is a fucking strange thing. So far, I can think of multiple ways that resurrection can occur. And then ask yourself the question, is it already happening? But we wouldn't die. Are you... Okay. You'd run it. But again, if you alter your mapping now, up to you. Go within. Ask yourself these questions. If you became selfless, is there a chance that your generations are going to learn what selfless is? And then this terrible blip here fizzles out. I mean, omitting things out of history sometimes is a good thing. And sometimes by putting things in history that makes you look good, the future are going to look back at that and think, fuck that. Ask yourself the question, and it's hard to, isn't it? Because you're not born into that yet.
Yeah.
How many times do you look back at the history and think, thank God I ain't living there?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, if you had the power and you came together as a nation, would you be resurrecting any of those? Would you resurrect the people? Would you resurrect the gentry?
No gentry, no leaders.
Why?
They made the world a horrible place.
So you could then end up blaming them for that.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't resurrect them. I wouldn't be worried about God's judgment if I were you. It's your own species' judgment. You do see how this looks so great in the moment, right? But you're often blind. The veil doesn't get lifted for individuals. It gets lifted for everybody. That's how it works.
Yeah.
The universe is much more intelligent than it appears to be. The guiding force is even more intelligent, and even if you know it, without action it's baseless. You can scrub that up as much as you want. But because you're not in the future, you haven't seen the evolving happening. If it goes the other way, which it often is renowned to, it does eventually. That's the fate. And somewhere along the lines, you got to ask the question, do you already know this? And is that why it's so limited now? Every generation's going to have the same. Oh, fuck all of these in my family, mate. I ain't bringing any of them back. They might outstage me. They would cause it to be unbalanced. And they can see you through the correct lens. And everyone thinks that all of this reality disappears. Like if you omit things out of a history book to make yourselves look scrubbed up.
Yeah.
That's also a wives' tale too. It is seen. And right now, you can't see it. That's not just life forms here. That's other life forms. What if they figure it out? And they're selfless and they come back here and then start resurrecting only certain types. These ones, no. Power. It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. Trick of light. Sleight of hand. The easiest way to think about it is to go deep within and ask yourself those questions yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the power to do that,
Yeah.
would you do this? And where we're this way round, remember this universe works in fucking parables, right? Light and dark, and it works in opposites. Yin and yang, yeah?
Yeah.
If there's 1% ruling, let's say 99%, you don't think that somewhere else other life forms are operating at 99% and only 1% is prevented? Then how much more faster can they evolve? How explosive is their technology? What is their wisdom like? And now resurrection is now happening in another way. And it sounds so science fiction until you sit down with it. I sit down with it, and this thing seems to teach me this. And then I have to throw the ball back, and then it comes back, and you could say it's a delusion. I dare say it isn't. Because it's very logical. Look at what you're doing. And I don't believe that this universe, the universe wouldn't waste that much energy and effort into making multiple versions of stars, multiple life forms on the planet, but
And nowhere else.
nowhere else.
Yeah.
If it did, it wouldn't waste energy in making all of that.
Yeah.
They just need one piece. Black holes already do this. They defuse. Just one piece. And time. Other life forms get one remnant and they can recreate you. Isn't that interesting?
Right.
You can do this yourself? Dare you say dinosaurs could be resurrected? And scientists would be like, yeah, we could do that. Now that is interesting, because in a strange format, that is resurrection. Can you recreate the planet Earth? Well, follow this path.
Yeah.
Can you recreate the Earth?
Yeah.
Using the materials in the Soho?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. So you could resurrect the planet even out of all of the debris that get exploded if you can find the remnants. You know what you're looking for. They'll stand out. They'll be very different to anything else. Anything else takes a piece of that, finds a bit of it. It can bring you back. Meat extinction? Not as in meat extinction, but experience extinction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a guarantee that you are truly dead.
Mm-hmm.
Your remnants are still about. As I unpack this further, and I'm going to, there's another one. You know, I was talking in another video about certain life forms on different planets that get together, sort of come together, and then that explodes and seeds another planet. And it's all about the time, plus it's going to evolve. It's a numbers game, but it happens, and then you build further, and then these remnants then scatter elsewhere. So yes, intelligent life is the humans now, but if a meteorite came and hit this, or the sun explodes and it doesn't quite engulf the planet, but all of those projectiles come out and cause this planet to shatter in multiple directions. The building blocks that made you intelligent are in you. They've had how much time to exist as this intelligent format? Now sure, it's going to be fractured apart and then break down, but when we understand what true rotting really is all about, life doesn't break down in space, unfortunately. These remnants fly out, get hold of a piece of leg. You only need one, and that can be backward engineered. Anyway, if that lands somewhere else, that information that's stored in there, and the reason why it is so widespread is because it's got more chance of seeding. It's got a lot more hit, but it's also got quite a few, it's got more misses than it has hit. But again, hit and adaptation and evolving, these things are highly probable. You've got all of that intelligence mixed with something else. Wow. What can come together then? Super intelligence? Hyper intelligence? And then you're built with those remnants, let's say, whatever those life forms are, and they get to understand cloning. Can they pick apart the very essence and take it back to the remnants that were found from other life forms that built you from pieces of other life forms? You understand this? A star explodes and you're built with the pieces of all of this chaos.
Yeah.
So you have a prehistoric star remnants around you, or nebula, or wherever that may be, gas, different things like that, past star. So with that information that's scattered around, could you rebuild the old star? And then how many stars from those pieces of stars made you? And then how long has that been going on for? So in the death of a star, it built a star. In death of life, it creates life. That sounds really hard to get your head around, but even inside you, there are certain beings in you that ran out of time. Where are the aliens? Look in the mirror. What, in the reflection? Not that mirror. One single remnant. And now that's out of your control entirely then. That's not in the human cradle no more. That's in something else's. Now it has to understand what is acceptable as hierarchy. Maybe slavery's in reverse. Life seems so straightforward when you just dip your foot in the water. Or finger. Yeah. If you're flying by the water and you just dangle your feet in it. Or finger. Wow, that's life. There's a whole sea with trenches.
Yeah.
You've just brushed it. This is before we start talking about higher powers, because again, there are 3 types of higher power.
Yeah.
And yeah, you may be able to control this, but that's it. The other 2, you have no say over.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, this is limited to capability. How far forward you go. Running around on a 1% battery, that's a numbers game, isn't it? Where others might be using more energy than that and operating at a 99% battery.
Mm-hmm.
And are they at 99%, or have they turned that 99% into 299%? 400. Did they spend time bringing each other together and uplifting each other? If they did, we got problems. The more older this universe gets, the more potential there is. The more advanced life forms become.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be a very strange thing to believe that on the planet with people so many different personalities, again, it's telling us so many different life forms, it's telling you so many different stars, so many different choices, so many different possibilities, and yet we think in superior and inferior. Now, are we superior or are we inferior? And then what makes superior and what makes inferior? Numbers? Potential? Unleashed, untapped. Cut the cargo, right? Then it explodes. Many different variety of stars. Again, it's telling you. Variety of planets, it's telling you. Variety of galaxies, it is telling you. Life forms that are untapped potential, that walk in the middle. They're not light, they're not dark. But they will use darkness to fight darkness and absorb it. And they use light to embrace and uplift the light, but always return to the middle. That would make me concerned. So I often sit like it as a leader, yes? If I was to think about it, and let's say you created the best fucking shit in the world. Then I look at other planets and I think, what if others are doing this? What if others are doing this better than you? What does that make us? Not a lot. Then if they've left the planet and they're not thinking of bringing populations down, they've done nothing but bring populations out. What happens if we're in control and they are in control of themselves and their own wisdom? And I think there's light, there's darkness. It's very interesting, the freshwater, saltwater, land, water. Liquid you can swim in, liquids you can't swim in, being lava, the star. Some liquids you can walk on. Super cooled liquid, crystallized. Parts of this crust you can not swim in or walk on the lava, but you can walk on the cooled lava. You can't walk on water, but you can walk on ice. Whoosh. So many different ways to be, isn't there?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
are we truly being? Are we really in control? Well, if we even keep looking at God, I look at God and I think, yeah, that's one way. Then I look at us and I think, yep, that's another way. And then I look at other life forms. Holy shit. That's when you are completely out of control. Shit, not even death would free you if they could bring you back. Ah, fucking hell, mate. And then, if they can bring you back then, what does servitude look like? An eternity like that? Fuck that. What, on small numbers? Fuck that. No, I'm alright, thanks. Beam me up, Goddy. Yeah, where are you gonna take me now, you know? Again, that's a strange choice to pick God, right? Then it would be a strange choice to... No, we've got to bet on yourselves. You've got to bet on all of you. And again, the universe just like, fucking power, come on. It's like believing our star is the biggest one. Oh my god, look how fucking big that is. Let's go and have a look at some of these fucking monsters over here then. Oh shit, it makes ours look like a match. I hope there's no life forms get around that. Why? They would be fucking huge. That makes sense. We must be like, hello. You know, like, hello. Like sort of speaking the planets bounce. Gee, Christ me, man. They get too close and their hearts start affecting the magnetic field of the planet. Back off a little bit. Why do you not like me? No, your heart isn't... Actually, come closer, yeah. You'll do well. We got a solar storm. That's all right, I'll protect you with my love. Assuming they have a heart. So, yeah, a little bit of inspiration for you. What kicks me up the arse for this stuff is that type of thought. And I think it's healthy thought. Paranoid, you say? What about this stuff here? No. We can leave that paranoia. Fuck me, right? If I went to go and see a psychotherapist, right, and started talking about this stuff, they'll be like, "What's wrong there? Are you all right?" Oh, I thought I was dealing with paranoia. You are? You mean you can't fix me? Holy fucking shit! I need a therapist. But you are the therapist. I need some sort of different therapist. You just give me paranoia. I didn't know it was contagious. Fucking is now. But we'd probably label this something else, delusional and everything else. Are you kidding me? Have you seen what we're flying around? Fucking nuclear furnace. Hot and cold. You're born, you're not chose that. And you'll die, and you most certainly aren't choosing that. And now you're telling me that we could be resurrected? Yep. By other things that could use us as slaves or food? It's possible, but I don't see why they would eat us just to resurrect us again. I mean, that solves all of world hunger, really, doesn't it? I'm just gonna eat you, animal, but it's alright, I'll resurrect you afterwards. Here you are. See? That wasn't so bad, was it? I'll eat you, you eat me. Oh my god, let's reach eternity. Woohoo! That is a self-fulfilling prophecy, is it not? And it sounds mad, doesn't it, that you could do that? And then people will be like, well, what about resurrecting people? No, you would have to resurrect nature. And you would also then need to resurrect animals too. No, fuck them. Well, then good luck with that. With limited nature, there's no way that's going to happen. And limited food? Well, we wouldn't die. We're still going to get hungry. Have we figured that out yet, to turn that out in the brain? I'm still working on it. Okay, maybe we should omit the stomach. Do we need the stomach? Everyone walks around shaking. I'm not saying that it's not impossible, but again, you know, you fill the stomach with soil, probably, just to take out the feeling of hunger. That's one way to do it. Do you need energy from that? See, it's not as perfect science as it appears. Lots of things need learning on that. And therefore, you understand that omitting certain things, doing this, moving that, and evolving towards it. My word. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Eternal life is a fascinating thing, but it's got to start with enough time to do it. Maneuvering towards it. And again, if you could live and then be resurrected each time, well, that's not really a bad problem, is it? Or if you're cloned, and yeah, that's not a bad thing either. You just let the vessel die out. Not from starvation. I mean, just to be born to starve and then die. I mean, fucking pointless. Defeats the object of resurrecting them in the first place, really.
Mm-hmm.
You'd feed a clone to a fucking animal, wouldn't you? You hungry? What? Eat me. Then you'd think that was crazy, wouldn't you? Clone again. Weird. Anyway, so yeah, got a little bit off topic on this one, but again, those are the type of things I'm thinking about. You thinking about stuff? Yeah, you must be. It must get as deep as that. So yeah, so basically it moves with thinking, step-by-step process, being able to build it and all of the structures until you reach objective. Then when you're able to build this objective, it starts off small and going around the world and different things like that, and then being able to build this up in space, more food, more transforming the elements into stable platforms for more people to live on. I mean, there's more of you, there's more food, there's more water, more gases. I mean, that becomes the next one, doesn't it? The gases. But you've got to start off small first and bit by bit. And then whatever you are able to do, you know, it's going to be hard for 1% of humans to be grabbing land mass, making all of that, and then going over there to try and get some oxygen or carbon and converting that, and then going over there. There's too much space. It's much easier that when you grab an object, you know what you're going to do with it, to transform it on the journey to, and you're transforming on the journey to, and you're transforming that on the journey to, so that when you get together, it's just as quick as that.
Yeah.
And by the time you've got back and done that, another one's coming back to have done that, and another one, and then you're devouring stuff left, right, and centre, and then bringing self-fulfilling prophecies on these areas. Water, sweats, this, that, and the other, salt water, life in that, blah-de-blah, fresh water, this water. Well, that's challenging to say the least, but it is possible because it's already possible because it's already happening here. Mimic that. Oh boy. And then it gets interesting, and then stars and different things like that. It's almost like spitting out parts for you. That's how you do it. Collect that shit. Or you could have bundled it up. Yeah, that stuff is kind of not a good idea. We'll keep it separate for now. It's amazing how the star works with you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Selfless, but only if you read it correctly. But I love you. Yep, I wouldn't stay too close to me if I were you. Why is that? Because I will burn you. In fact, I'm thinking of devouring everything in my vicinity. But how come you told us? Because you're special. Because even in its death, a piece of it will go with you. Hey, you can collect that shit up, can't you? Well, by that time you would be advanced enough to know how to collect that up. Crystals? Whew. We'll have some fun with that. And then the crystal will have to transform into something else in shaped and... It looks really good natural, but, you know, I'm afraid we're going to have to transform it. Into what? Yeah, possibilities are endless on this one. Yeah, so, you know, a little system, and slowly but surely, and it starts with a very small idea, and then this manifests. You know, and to say that to think this stuff into reality is the way to do it, I don't know. I've been thinking about lots of stuff. You know, some people say that what you think about, like if you go up to the mirror and start saying things, what you want and everything else. Well, I say it in my mind. Yeah. All of these, you know, those things. Because I understand the importance that if there are people listening, and my grandfather was like this, there's always someone listening. If you go chattering into a mirror and say all these things out loud, guess what you do? Well, you can run a risk, can't you? If someone's listening, they can weaponize it. Your wants, your needs, and desires. You're saying it in a mundane place, and someone's walked past your window and like, you're fucking right.
Yeah.
You weaponize it. That can be weaponized very easily because they can hear your desires. And then some people are like, but you've got to manifest it. In the quantum mind, have you ever seen two people before they get into a relationship, they just know? They don't even need to say a fucking word to each other,
Yeah.
and they just caught.
Yeah.
Find that amazing? That's because they're thinking it. That's interesting. But it only works on things like that, where you have that alignment. So yeah, no doubt. Are people reading you? Is it about this reading, that reading, this? I don't know. When it comes to relationships, that's a very interesting thing. They don't even need to say any words. Most of the time, they don't. Certainly when you're young. You don't want to be my girlfriend. Yeah, I think that's the only time it's... Other than that, it never happens that way, does it? It just... Oh, damn, it's been 3 months! Fucking hell! I never even asked you, did I? No, you didn't even ask me either. Well, it'd just be cliche to do it now, wouldn't it? Do you want to be my girlfriend? Right,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that with most relationships, and when I ask, well, how did you two get together? Well, it just sort of happened. Rain just sort of happens. But your relationship just sort of happened. Yeah, it evolved into this. So there was no, like, big go on a grand date or anything like... No. So new.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Make manifest, I guess. So yeah, again, and think that a lot. Not about that, but just about general stuff. And if the mind was truly about that, I don't know. But do you think other people can read it off you? But there again, in that particular thing where it's relationship, the reason why it works like that is because two people are selfless in the moment. That's what makes that happen. But where we live in a society where it's selfish versus selfless versus thinking, if everybody's selfish, it turns off that automatic response, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In a relationship, people have wants, needs, and I guess that desire takes over for evil one, and it transpires quite naturally in that selfless sort of way, I guess. It's kind of weird to think about it. Most relationships we think are selfish, but I don't know. I think they're selfless, aren't they? Because you're going to be giving up your time, my this, my that. That whole my fucking me, and now it's we. I just got to turn the M upside down, I guess. Yeah, me to we. Well, you know. So selfless, although some people will say they're selfish because you're just doing it for your wants. I don't know. Turning that W upside down and making it into me is at the end of the relationship seems more harder than turning it the other way. Making that into a w, and because you get into that me. I can do whatever I like sort of thing, yes? Because it's all about me. Well, it is when you're on your own, right? It's all about me. And then when you're, getting close to someone else, it's now we. No, you need to be a whole circle. Two me's do not, what? So two me's make a we? Yes, you must be you and that and this and wonder why it never fucking works. And I don't know. I got some info from people who I don't know how to say it with being PC. So like great grandfathers and stuff. Yeah. That was a different mindset entirely. But we sort of complete each other, don't we? That's very sweet. And now it's like, you must be a full circle with a full circle. So it changes over time, I think, and it's a bit like tea is toxic for you and coffee's good for you, and then coffee's toxic for you and now tea's good for you. So we'll probably do that with the we.
Yeah.
Half a circle, full circle, and then I look at reality and think quantum and reality, and is it half moons coming together to make the circle? Or am I a full quantum and I'm a full reality and I'm just trying to bang these rings together like Houdini? Or is it more semicircle and you're the part in the middle of those two forces? Interesting. And to become complete is to be either light or darkness, but two semicircles and you're the bit in the middle of light and dark, and relationships full circle and you're the reverse of me, I'm the reverse of you kind of thing in this way, and body and looking, and is it a half a circle and half a circle that formulate one circle, which then you can be the W, I can be the E if you want.
B W.
Oh, L, we.
W E.
It's like alone backwards is an interesting one.
Đúng.
Elon. La.
Đúng. Inol.
Interesting. So yeah, I'm going to leave this one here because I'll break into more of this one on another day. I did go on a tandem and I do enjoy it. So interesting. Just helps me process what this back and forth conversation with something that doesn't feel like me, but I'm told that it is me. Doesn't feel like it. So no, there's some sort of channel there. And then when I was on fucking deathbed, you know what? I felt more me than I've ever felt walking over to this thing over there. Actually, it wasn't walking, and it was more hard to explain it. That was the most me I've ever been then. And then I noticed that there's lots of me's then.
Oh.
Within all of that. Whoa, fucking hell. It's starting to come into a little bit more. So do you understand that? That's sort of like you're fully you, and then apparently this other part of you is you, and you'll probably have the knee slap moment when you die. Fucking was telling the truth. Yeah, interesting. It's like trying to teach fucking water to stone.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not that. It's worse. Because technically stone can become water, can't it, if you heat it up? Lava.
Yeah.
Which technically flows.
Yeah.
It's not water really though, is it?
It's liquid.
But it is liquid.
Liquid.
It's crystal.
Liquid matter.
Yeah. So the full you is that.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to inflate my ego. You mean to tell me I'm all that shit there? I don't call it shit because it's a bad thing. I don't even need to explain that. That's just the sort of thing we say. So yeah, this symbol is something different. The middle. The middle. And yet it's so offensive when you do it to people, isn't it? But actually, that is more sacred than anything I think I've ever seen. This, when you do this, what do you reckon that means? It means you're fucking odd. Your thumb is quite odd, isn't it?
It is.
But we call that thumbs up means good. Or good to be odd.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, that is odd. Mm-hmm. Got all of these and these.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose, odd. Two odds make good. Where's that? Fucking in the middle, mate. How are you? This. This is how you come from it. Breathe, breathe. You're taking this very wrong. Every time you do that, oh, no, I am not. Oh, yes, you are. But yeah, no, still. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because if not, it's going to get real strange. I want to go off to think a bit more. So that will be interesting. Right, let's leave it there and then that's all very good. Thank you for your time.
This is Musi.